Welcome back to point number 3 for the AAHOA 12 Points of Fair Franchising. Once again, I am wearing my brand new and favorite 12 points pin, and I encourage you to go and pick one up at a local AAHOA regional meeting or town hall and join the club of promoting victory to victory of fairness in the industry. So let's do a deep dive into point number 3. Again, I would encourage you to print out the AAHOA 12 Points Educational Primer to educate yourself on this point, as well as the AAHOA 12 Points Questionnaire, which is available on the AAHOA 12 Points of Fair Franchising. The topic for point number 3 is minimum performance and quality guarantees. And what we are promoting in the interest of fairness here is that franchisors should issue a minimum performance guarantee to their franchisees regarding number 1, the occupancy levels of their brand name hotels, number 2, the number of reservations that will be delivered through the franchisor's reservation systems. Now, why is this important? Well, franchisors should also commit to maintaining a certain level of quality in the franchise system. As franchisees, you are required to sign these long-term franchise agreements. You have many obligations, many duties to comply with the standards that the franchisors are imposing on you. And at AAHOA, we believe that the opposite should also be true. The franchisor should be maintaining a certain level of quality. For example, the key characteristics of each brand name, the public image and reputation that they develop for each brand name, the minimum number of hotels that they will maintain under each brand name, and the amount and type of advertising that they will employ for each brand name. So by upholding certain standards, doing at a bare minimum, maintaining the quality, the reputation, the number of hotels, you can ensure, as well as of course the marketing aspect, you can ensure that then your hotel has a much better chance of succeeding in the long run if you are getting this support from your franchisor. Thus, after all of this is done and all of this effort is put in by the franchisor, your hotel is still not able to maintain a certain occupancy level over a designated period of time. And remember, we discussed this way back in point 1 of the 12 Points of Fair Franchising. Or if the franchisor allows the quality of a particular brand to decline, then you, as the franchisee, should be able to terminate the franchise agreement without penalty, without liquidated damages, because you are not able to maintain what you had signed up for. And so there's 2 questions that we're suggesting in the 12 points questionnaire on this point that you can address with your franchisor. The first question is, in your franchise agreement, do you as the franchisor, if the franchisee's hotel is not able to maintain certain occupancy levels over a designated period of time, do you allow the franchisee to terminate the franchise agreement without penalty? In other words, without paying any LDs. And 2, in your franchise agreement, if the quality of the brand name of the franchisee's hotel declines for whatever reason, and maybe it's a firm decision by the franchisor that they are going to have that serve in a different capacity, at a different quality level to attract maybe an economy segment of the brand. So if that happens, if the quality declines, do you allow the franchisee to terminate the franchise agreement without penalty and again, without liquidated damages? So to join me in discussing these aspects, We have several experts that also will share with you some stories on how they have seen this impact certain hoteliers and franchisees so that you can better understand why this is such an important point of the 12 points of fair franchising.
When you sign your franchise agreement, you've committed to maintain certain quality and performance from your side as a franchisee. Well, point 3 takes a look the opposite way. When you bought that franchise, you discussed with that franchisor what quality standards the franchise was going to have, what occupancy levels you expected out of it. You had a disclosure document of what you were buying. Point 3 would allow you, if those weren't maintained, to actually get out of your franchise agreement and look back at point 1 without liquidated damages.
Point 3 is especially important because franchisees spend typically millions of dollars to develop their properties for the franchisor's brand. And if the franchisor's brand does not sell enough rooms or provide adequate distribution to the property, then the franchisee is just simply left with unsold rooms and declining revenue while still having to pay loan payments, salaries, employees, and taxes. Unfortunately, in today's market, franchisors are developing new brands every day, even while many of their existing franchisees are struggling to pay their bills. And the franchisee should not have to rely and pay for online travel agencies to sell their rooms. Unfortunately, many franchisees are also forced to rely on the OTAs to sell their rooms because the franchisor does not provide enough bookings, even though franchisees typically contribute to a marketing fund where that marketing fund should be used to put heads in beds.
So point 3 is simply the guarantee that you were getting what you bought from the franchisor, just like the franchisor demands a guarantee of what is expected of you.
There was a certain brand that offered, I wouldn't say occupancy guarantees, but revenue guarantees in the market. And those guarantees have now, for what we believe, for the most part, has been taken away. Those occupancy guarantees and the distribution and selling their rooms really should just be required or should be some sort of a benchmark to show how much the franchisor is actually contributing to the success of an individual hotel, not the success of the entire brand. I honestly believe that if the franchisors are not selling enough rooms to a typical hotel or even to any of our hotels, then we should have some ability or some mechanism to get out of the agreement and to try our luck with another brand or a different franchisor and not be stuck with the agreement and payment of liquidated damages when the brand itself has essentially failed the franchisee and their property.
So thank you again for joining us as we did this deep dive into point number 3. And I would encourage you, if you have not had an opportunity to watch the earlier videos and webinars on points 1 and 2, to now take an opportunity to do so that you are up to speed with where we are at. Because again, our mission is to go from victory to victory in the battle for fairness in the industry. So until next time, when we pick up point number 4, we will see you soon, and we look forward to continuing to promote the AAHOA 12 points of fair franchising. Thank you.